These big white birds here on this island are pink-backed pelicans. They get that name from the pink color, their backs turn during mating season. They can live in small groups like these here, or in large colonies of up to 500 pairs of birds. And they get a wingspan of about 9 feet, which sounds pretty big, but they actually are one of the smallest of all pelican species. On our left, you will be able to see some Nile crocodiles.
Oh, wow.
Make sure, please don't hold the kids up, all the way seated. Thank you. Nile crocodiles are the largest in Africa. They have an average size of about 16 feet and weigh 500 pounds. They can live to about 40 years, and they can hold their breath underwater for up to 2 hours at a time. Although you'll often see them sitting on the banks with their mouths open. They do that to help regulate their body temperatures. Now we're going to head over to the savannah. The savannah is home to some of the more well-known animals, like the giraffes, the elephants, and maybe a lion. Here's our first view of the savannah. There are some giraffe way up ahead, but we'll be able to swing around and get a little closer to them. Looks like our first animal that we'll be able to see on our right-hand side are the Ankole cattle. They do have those really big horns. Looks like they'd be really heavy, but there's actually a honeycomb structure up in there, so they're pretty lightweight. There's also some springbok back there sitting behind them. They are a type of antelope. They look pretty small, but they only get up to about 100 pounds. As their name suggests, the springbok can jump pretty high though. They can go about 6 feet straight in the air, or 13 feet moving forward. The springbok are the national animal of South Africa. Those cattle that we saw are also called Watusi cattle, after the tribe in Africa that first domesticated them. They are the only domesticated animals we have here on the reserve. On our left, you will be able to see some African wild dogs. They're also called painted dogs because of those splotchy coats that they have. They look pretty cute and fuzzy, but they are actually one of Africa's most successful predators. They have about a 90% success rate. They work together in their pack, and they will literally run their prey to exhaustion.
Oh, yeah, I got it. That's why I like hyenas.
As we come around this corner, up to the left-hand side, you will be able to see some sable antelope. There's a few sitting under the tree back there. The sables have those big long horns that curve and point backwards. While most antelope will try to run from predators, the sables will actually use those horns and try to fight them off.
We're gonna get wicked close to it, look.
It's coming towards us.
And we are coming up on some Maasai giraffe. The Maasai have a little bit more of a messy, splotchy pattern to their spots.
They're so cute.
The babies are about 6 feet tall when they are born, and they can get up to around 20 feet.
Alright, baby, alright.
Giraffe do spend most of their day eating. They actually only need to sleep about half an hour a day. They won't even do it all at one time. a really nice view of that one right off to the side. Giraffe also have those really long tongues. They can get up to about 18 inches long. Makes it really easy for them to pull leaves off those really high branches.
It's like yellow.
Up to the right on the hill next to us, those are some Patterson's eland. They are actually the largest of all antelope. They can get up to about 2,000 pounds. There's that one that looks kind of gray, and that one's probably pretty close to that 2,000 pound mark. For as heavy as they are, though, they still can jump pretty high. They can actually go about 8 feet up in the air.
No way.
Now these rocks here are called Monkey Point, and Monkey Point does mean that we are crossing into elephant country. On our left, we actually will first be able to see some monkeys. Right on those rocks there behind those trees, there are some mandrills. They're a little hard to see, so just look for any movement behind those trees there. There's a mom and 2 little babies. They're pretty cute. The male's way in the back. He's kind of hard to see. The males get up to about 100 pounds, while the females only stay around 30 pounds. They're not looking at us, but they do have those really distinct blue and red markings on their faces, kind of like Rafiki. Those markings will get brighter when they are more excited. And they will often bare their teeth at each other, but to them it's just how they say hello. Now on our right hand side we'll get our first view of an African elephant.
Oh, he's so cute.
You see him flapping his ears a little bit. They do that to help cool themselves off. They can actually lower their body temperature about 15 degrees by doing that. And we do know he is male since he's by himself. The male elephants are solitary, although sometimes they will form loose bachelor herds. Since we've seen one elephant jump, though, that generally means we'll have some pretty good luck finding a few more up ahead. It does look like a herd has been through here. I can see some footprints in the mud. And if you look over to the right side there, you can see some tusk marks in the clay. The elephants will actually dig their tusks into the clay and eat it for the minerals. Kind of like us taking a vitamin. Now there's a few more off to our left-hand side here. Elephants do live in matriarchal herds, so all that we see here will be females and their babies. The babies will stay with mom until they're about 13 to 15 years old. It is the second longest childhood of any mammal next to humans. And once this truck clears in front of us, we'll be able to stop in the clearing and get a pretty good view of the little baby. She's so cute. There she is. She's just playing.
She's so cute.
She likes to play in the mud. Sometimes she'll just get down and roll around. They do have very sensitive skin, so they will throw the mud or dirt up on their backs. Helps protect their skin and cools them off a little bit.
Oh my god, that is the cutest baby elephant.
The little babies will go off during the day and play with their cousins and their aunts, but at night they always come back to Mom. Now these birds here are of course flamingos. These are greater flamingos. They are the lightest pink in color. They get that pink from beta-carotene found in brine shrimp. There are a few gray ones on the island. Those are the babies. They will start turning pink after about a year. A group of flamingos together like this is called a flamboyance.
It's amazing how the world changes words these days.
Huh?
Flamboyance actually has a meaning towards
Flamingos.
Yeah, nothing to what people use it for.
Now, a cool thing that Disney Conservation has learned about elephants, so they're actually afraid of bees. So they went over to Africa and worked with some farmers who were having a problem with the elephants coming in and destroying their crops, and they helped them build beehive fences. That way, the elephants stayed out of the crops, and the farmers were actually able to sell the honey. They tried at first with just the recordings of bees, but the elephants were far too smart. They realized there weren't actually bees there. But once they put in the real hives, it works pretty well.
We didn't get to see the lion.
This ride's pretty long, huh?
Huh?
If you look way up the hill there, it's really hard to see because it's dark, but there is a cheetah. He's walking around, so just kind of look down at the bottom of the hill. He's going up the hill. There's another one way up that's laying behind the trees. They're really hard to see though in the shade. Cheetahs can go about 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, although they can't sustain that speed for very long though, only a few hundred yards. They use their big long tails to help act as a rudder, helps them steer when they're running so fast. They are the only big cat that can actually purr, and they don't really roar or meow like other cats do, they actually chirp like a bird. And speaking of big cats, looks like we're going to be able to see some lions over here.
Where?
It's sleeping.
There's the 2 females and the male. They do rest or sleep about 16 to 20 hours of the day. They will sometimes hunt during the day. Their eyesight's about as good as ours. There are some rhinos. We'll be able to swing around and see them again, so you can keep looking at the lions.
He's riding in the sky. He's riding in the sky.
They do have those big padded paws. Makes it easier for them at night to sneak up on their prey.
They're so cute.
It's a nice view of that female up on top.
Look at that beautiful face.
The females, of course, do most of the hunting.
Just like in the kitchen.
Now we're going to get a great view of these white rhinos.
Oh yeah, guy.
The white rhinos do get bigger than the black rhinos, up to about 5,000 pounds. They're a little more social too, which is why you'll often see them out here in groups together. As you can see, they're not really white, they're gray. They get their name from the Afrikaans word bide. It's used to describe their really wide, square mouths. You'll also see an ostrich and some ostrich eggs. There's a few more ostriches up ahead as well.
Ostrich.
Ostriches are, of course, the largest bird, although they can't fly.
Abstrus, yeah.
They can run pretty fast, though. They can hit top speeds of about 40 to 45 miles an hour.
Juliana, you should have taken a picture of it to show Val, the abstrus.
I got a video.
Those ostrich eggs can get pretty big, about 3 pounds each.
My grandma calls my phone abstrus.
They are so strong, in fact, that a grown man can stand on them, and they will not break.
Like a Chocobo.
Now these birds here are yellow-billed stork. They get a wingspan of about 5 feet, and they'll eat pretty much whatever they can fit in their beak. Also back off to the right, you'll be able to see some scimitar horned oryx. They have a really light colored coat, helps reflect sunlight. They do tend to live in the deserts of northern Africa. And they can go up to about 9 months without drinking any water. They won't even start sweating until their body temperature reaches about 115 degrees. Now this does mean our safari is coming to an end. I hope you've enjoyed the animals you've seen today. We got some really good views, especially of the little baby elephant. You're always welcome to join us again though. No two safaris are ever the same. If you want to see some more animals, you can head over to the Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail. That is a walking trail, so you can spend as much time looking at the animals as you'd like. Over there they have naked mole rats, meerkats, zebras, and of course the lowland gorilla. They do have an okapi and an underwater viewing area for the hippo if you want to spend some more time looking at those animals. If you want to learn more about the vet care for the animals you've seen today on the reserve, you can head over to Rafiki's Planet Watch. It is just a train ride away. Although the last train does leave at 4:30, so just make sure you're over there before then. You can also meet Rafiki and Doc McStuffins over there as well. If we have any wilderness explorers on board, you have been riding the Simba 1. That is SIMBA and the number 1. And you can also get some badges.